Um, my name is Norm Bafunno, and I'm a 1979 grad for Parkway North. I went to Fern Ridge Elementary School and Parkway North Junior and Senior High School. What a great education is the first thing that comes to mind. The teachers, the staff, the whole experience was just outstanding. And I think just the opportunities that Parkway offered me, both extracurricular activities and academically, I think really helped shape my career and also all of my success I think I've had so far.
Great. Well, what do you think really helped lead you to your success that you're having now?
Well, I think a lot is just having a good foundation in two ways. I think one is academically, are you ready? And when I look back at my high school experience, it's all about getting you ready for the next level, and that's university. And you never know exactly, are you going to be ready or not? And when I look back, I think about all of the teachers and the experiences that I had. Was I prepared? And the answer was yes. When I got to Purdue University, I had a chance then to kind of reflect. Am I ready to take on these classes? Am I not ready to take on these classes? There are people from all over the country and basically all over the world. And yet the foundation was very strong. The second part, I think, of a foundation really deals with the values and the principles that you believe in. And I thought that the support, the integrity, kind of the always being this helping hand, this sense of humility at the school, sense of pride at the school, but knowing what's right and wrong. And I just found that those kind of underpinnings that came from all different directions, both from the school itself, from the parents that supported the school, to the other students in the school. I mean, it all kind of, I think, provided a real good foundation.
Well, I'm sure your family had a lot to do with setting some of those values and advances that you really wanted to take forward in your next adventure. So what happened after the university? Where'd you go from there?
After I graduated, I went to work in the automotive industry, and I've been there for 27 years. I worked half of that time with General Motors and half that time with Toyota. And I basically was a mechanical engineer after graduation and went into manufacturing. And I've been involved with really the equipment and the design of assembly plants to build different kinds of cars and trucks. Been very exciting.
And what do you think of your personal attributes or characteristics help spur you on to the level you're at now?
I think it comes down to again, true learning. I think if I pointed to a few things. Within a career, I think you have yourself to kind of do the check to say, am I really learning something? I think it applies to all levels of learning as well, at high school or at university, but also in your career. Do you really know what you're doing? Of course you can participate in anything, but do you understand what makes things work and what it takes to get a project done? And do you have the confidence later to lead a small team? And I think once you have that kind of knowledge, that true knowledge, I'll call it, I think it leads to a lot of potential opportunities for you in the future. And I think secondly is, what do you want to do with your career? I think a lot of people want to stay in a technical track. They want to go into research. They want to just continue to be an outstanding engineer for their career. And others might decide to take on a broader scope. I didn't know if I wanted that broader scope, to be honest with you, but over time, I found it to be very engaging. I think the people side of any business is something that's been really exciting for me.
That's wonderful. And is there anyone from Parkway who you could to name that really sticks out in your mind of someone who really helped to, inspire you or give you that confidence as a learner, as a student?
Well, there was a number. In fact, there's too many to name. I can think going back to elementary school, in reflection now, 31 years later, I'm going to be talking to high school students here. They're going to say, who is this old person? Well, I don't feel that old. But when I go back even to elementary school and I think about my fourth grade teacher, and I think, not only did she help us do the times tables and things like that, but I went to her wedding. She invited our whole class. And that kind of carried on even through middle school, where there were different people that really took an interest, a genuine interest. At first, as a student, you're a little bit nervous. You don't really know exactly where this advice is going. And sometimes just the factor of understanding the value of those kind of discussions or those kind of relationships. But in reflection, they all mattered. I had great coaches, I had great teachers, and I had great people that were helping with the extracurricular activities. One of the extracurricular activities that comes to mind, I did a lot of athletics. I did fall athletics and spring athletics, but I also got involved with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And I was a member, and then I was a leader of that group. And what it did is it really helped me to build values and also to understand beliefs. And to me, it just gave me a strength to say, how do I compare to other students, or how do other people feel about these really complex issues that are going on, and to remain grounded. And so I think different kind of exposure to activities like that were very exciting. I had a chance to go to a national conference with that. I was excited. I went to the University of Arkansas. Lou Holt spoke to us.
Oh my goodness.
And it still is in my mind, ingrained in my mind, to say, listen to him speak about setting goals, and that don't allow others to judge you. You can do what you want to do. And you hear those words time and time again, but you wonder what it really means. But I think having the exposure and the opportunities in extracurricular activities like that have been great. I didn't name specific people, but I honestly could for every single grade, every single class. And the why is because there was genuine interest. When I talked to different people and they would answer my questions or they would provide the help, I always knew it was there. The thing is, I was shy as a student. I did okay academically, but at the same time, I didn't go out of my way always to go see a teacher or to ask. But when I needed to, the response was very, very positive. It was always inviting. And that's some of the advice I even give students today, that don't ever feel like there's some kind of a barrier. There is a barrier. It's just a mental barrier to get through. But go through it, because you're going to find out there's some great rewards for doing it.
Well, we've heard that over and over again about Parkway teachers and that personal relationship and how motivating that can be. So that's great to hear from you as well.
Yes. The other thing I would say too is I don't think the relationship with the teachers started to really expand until I got out of high school, actually. Then all of a sudden I started to become a young adult, and then in adulthood, I would still run across my teachers in many different functions. If I came back for an alumni event, or if there was a wedding in the community, or if there happened to be some kind of a fundraiser going on for some organization, and I would run into what I consider to be these people that were always my teachers. But it was unbelievable, the relationship, and be able to talk about things in a different perspective, and to get their advice maybe on a career move, or just talk in general about families and things like that. It was great. In high school, there were things that I had strengths in and things I was pretty weak at, to be perfectly honest. I think math and science, it was in my wheelhouse. I felt good about it. It always made sense to me, and it's where I excelled. The part that wasn't so strong for me was reading, I'll be honest, and writing. I was weak, and I don't want to talk about my SAT scores, but almost 2 times higher in math than it was in verbal. And if you kind of think about it, wow, Norm, could there be a discrepancy? It wasn't quite that, but very close. I think this idea about how do you continuously learn through your career is very important. I consider myself now a better reader, and I have to write a lot through my career on different kind of points of view. And this continuous learning or seeking for knowledge is a really good element. So I would challenge people that even now when you're in high school and you think, hey, I'm not as good as I should be, that's okay. There's plenty of time to continue to expand your knowledge and to create your skill sets in that particular area. And I have gotten the biggest excitement personally, and it actually came from my wife. She taught me to read, to be honest. Now, taught is a strange way to say it, but she encouraged me through different books she would give me and things like that. But books to me are a big deal. I don't read a book every single day, but if I'm traveling, if I have some spare time, I like to read biographies. So Tony Dungy, Uncommon, is one of his 3 books. It's his 2nd book, and he wrote in the series. Outstanding. But what it talks about is his personal experience dealing with activities going on, such as it's okay to be uncommon. Maybe your values are strong, and they're the right ones, and maybe the group you're in isn't. It's okay to be uncommon. I thought it was an awesome kind of topic. But those kind of things, when you learn from others and then you can apply them in your own daily life, is really good. Another book I'd like to mention too is Mitch Albom. And Mitch Albom is a writer in Detroit, and he wrote a book called Having a Little Faith. And what it was all about essentially was, when he was growing up, his rabbi, he didn't have a very good relationship with him. Later on, that rabbi gave him a call. And he said, I want to talk to you. And he was like, what's going on? And he wrote about this experience. And the bottom line is, the rabbi eventually said, hey, I'm going to be dying soon, and I'd like you to write and really be the person that does my eulogy. And he was like taken back. But it's the whole story now of this relationship building, and then how this whole thing works in life. And I thought it was a great point of view. And also Tuesday with Morrie is a great book he wrote as well. So I just encourage people to find different kinds of books that might excite you. Thanks.